Today, guys, I'm going to be telling you the top 5 sports cars to race with in GTA Online. I have handpicked 5 out of every single sports car in the game that I have tested on this insanely difficult track in GTA Story Mode. So I hope you go on to enjoy the video. And with that said, let's jump into the first car, which honestly was a shock to me, but it's going to be the SM722. You could purchase this car for $2,115,000. It has a 123 mile per hour top speed. It is rear-wheel drive, and if you wanted to max it out, it'll cost you $386,000. When this car first came out, I was not a huge fan of it. I just don't really like the look of the car. But when it came to racing on this track, I was genuinely surprised of how well it performed compared to pretty much any of the other sports cars in the game. It's definitely not the best car on this list, but compared to everything else I tested it against, whenever it did lose control a little bit going around these sharp turns, and by the way, I'm driving at over 70 miles per hour on these very sharp turns, it gained control back like it was nothing, compared to a lot of other vehicles, which would just spin out, hit the sides of the walls, and sometimes even fall off the track. Like I said, it's definitely not the best car on this list, but it is definitely in the top 5 out of 101 sports cars in GTA 5. Next, we have the Jugular, which you could purchase for $1,225,000 or unlock the trade price and get it for $918,000. It has a 126 mile per hour top speed. It has an all-wheel drive drivetrain, and if you wanted to max it out, it'll cost you $368,000. This thing is an absolute menace on the streets of Los Santos, and if you take it off-roading. In any stunt race that I've done in the past where I had to go off-road, this car was there for me and got me into first place every single time. Even if I was in dead last, 30 seconds behind the guy in first, I could still catch up. That is how good this car is at off-roading. Like I said though, it's still amazing on the streets as well because the handling is impeccable. It is a little bit heavy going around sharp turns, but it'll make up for it because the handling is awesome and you will not spin out. Next up, we have the Jester RR, which you could purchase for $1,970,000 or unlock the trade price and get it for $1.4 million with a 125 mile per hour top speed, a rear-wheel drive drivetrain, and if you wanted to max it out, it'll cost you a grand total of $670,000 because this thing has a ton of upgrades available for it. But this is the one time I don't really care about the upgrades available for the car, even though they are awesome upgrades. This is the perfect beginner car to get into sports car races with. I swear, when I was driving it on this track, it felt like an F1 car. It did not spin out at all. I was in full control of this vehicle the entire time, and like I said, I am going around these turns very fast. I'm actually using a speed multiplier to make these cars go a bit faster, just so you could truly see their performance, and as they go faster, the control actually goes down a little bit on it. So it really just shows how great some of these vehicles are, and the Jester RR is flawless. Next up, we have the Itali GTO. You could stop watching the video right here. This is the best sports car in the game to race with, possibly even the best car in the game to race with. I personally would prefer to use this in every race over the Projet Emrys and the Krieger as well. That is how great it is. You could purchase it for $1.9 million with a 127 mile per hour top speed, an all-wheel drive drivetrain, and if you wanted to max it out, it'll cost you $392,000. If you have played GTA for years, which I'm assuming a lot of you have, and you still haven't bought this car yet, you have just missed out on a whole lot of wins in sports races because this car is magic. I swear you will play so much better if you own this vehicle. The other vehicles I've mentioned so far in this video are outstanding as well. Obviously, the Jugular is outstanding at going off-road, and the Itali GTO will not be able to outperform the Jugular off-road. But when it comes to any normal sports race or stunt race, this car will outperform everybody else because the handling is so great. You can go around turns at crazy fast speeds and still be in full control of your vehicle, and there is nothing else I need to say about it. Hands down, one of the best, if not the best car to race with in GTA Online. Next, we have the Audi RSX, which you could purchase for $3.4 million or unlock the trade price and get it for $2.59 million. It has a 135 mile per hour top speed, an all-wheel drive drivetrain, and if you wanted to max it out, it'll cost you $400,000. Now, this car is pretty much identical to the Itali GTO. The only difference is the top speed is higher. But the reason why I say the GTO is still a bit better is because since the top speed is a bit lower, you have more control of your car. And as the Itali RSX does go faster, you'll start to have less control of your vehicle. It's just logic. That's how the world is. If you're going 10 miles per hour down a road compared to going 100 miles per hour down the exact same road, clearly you're going to have more control of your vehicle if you are going slower. The RSX is still an outstanding car, but that is one thing you gotta know about it. So be careful if you decide to buy this vehicle over the GTO or any other vehicle in the game. Watch out for that oversteer because it will happen from time to time, but the handling is still pretty amazing, so it's not too hard to control it once you learn. Obviously, this car is a bit more expensive than the GTO as well, so a couple things to take into account. But anyways, that is going to wrap the video up for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys want me to do any more of these videos on different classes of cars, be sure to let me know which class down below in the comment section. But with that said, I will catch you guys in the next one.